Hi Scorpios, welcome to my channel. My name is Ella and this is going to be your October 2018 twin flame videos. So in case if you're new to my channel or if you're just confused the way I upload my videos, this is the way it works. So I have monthly love tarot reading. This is for all the people who are just in a relationship or not in a relationship or just broke up with someone or who are just not sure what relationship they're in. So they are more general. Now I also have twin flame readings. So twin flame readings are for people who definitely think that they have, they have specific person in mind who they believe their twin flame or their soulmate is. So this is the readings for them. So in case you ever get confused which one you want to watch, I mean you can watch all of them, but if you want to know like what it means, why these readings have different names, so here is why. So I uploaded Scorpio, this is the Scorpio reading, so I uploaded Scorpio about in the middle of September, so the energy of the reading goes till September to October. So I'm not really gonna be tuning into any new situations here, but what I am going to do is I'm going to expand on what I've been talking about in the video of Scorpio twin flame before. I mean, of course I will briefly mention to not confuse you what is the energy we are dealing with, but this is going to be more like just a build up on the first video that I've done. So I will post a link here, just make sure you watch that video first. And anyway, we are going to be talking about your twin flame connection. I'm going to be using really amazing new cards I have, which are archetype cards. So what we're going to do is we are not only going to talk about what's happening with your connection and try to predict what happens. What we're going to try to see is what is some of the light and shadow attributes within yourself you're working on. What is something maybe the universe wants you to know you need to work on, or a person needs to work on. Basically we are going to do a very deep psychological investigation, how they see you, what's happening in their life, some possible archetypes that we have going on in their life and stuff like that. So anyway guys, let's get started. So first let's see two people in their connection. I remember in the September October video it was Page of Wands person who was immature slightly, and the second person was Five of Wands person who was very conflicted, but also a person who've given a lot to a different person. Probably this is you watching the Scorpio, so you probably given a lot to possibly a fire sign, and you were very conflicted. You felt like you've been giving and giving and giving to another person, but not much came back from that. So anyway, let's look right now more about these two people in this connection, please. Energy of October and even some November. Let's see. So first person is the Fool. I think this is the side that was Page of Wands. So somebody here is, I feel like their immature energy is still there, but it's almost like they are dropping things. Some things, they're leaving things behind. They're starting some kind of new journey. So if you were wondering about if that person is still in a relationship or in a connection, what I sense is that as much as it could have been even that their karmic partner left them or about to leave them, and they are forced to just basically just go on a wild journey. Second person. Remember guys, in September video I had the second person, which I think was you, as a Five of Wands. So here energy is similar. It's crazy how it works. Energy is Seven of Wands. So just so you remember this, like this is second person, this connection is Seven of Wands, and in the previous reading you guys were symbolized by, let me just find these cards, because I just really feel honestly like I don't mind doing a whole new reading from scratch, but I feel twin flame energy is a little bit different. There is some very specific people we are tuning into, so it's really like at least this month is going to be just a continuation of what we've done before. It's just what I feel like. I hope you guys like it, but if not, well, I can't do much. Anyway, so let me just see something really quickly here. Where's my Page of Wands? So yeah, anyway, the person, this person here, Seven of Wands, who is conflicted about what they've done, what they've given. Last month they were this card, I sense. And just very quickly, let me find the, oh yeah, and here's the Page. And the person who is in this reading in my Rider Waite is the Fool. Last month they were this Page. So anyway, I think energy is still similar. Nothing really changed much, but now let's investigate a little bit more. So we have here two sides of this connection, which is the Fool and Seven of Wands. I feel like you, Scorpio, could be Seven of Wands, not necessarily. It could also be a person you're cross-watching for. So you are very conflicted. But I feel like if last month you were just kind of in this energy of a Debbie Downer, even a little bit, you were feeling tired, you were feeling conflicted, you felt you've given so much, this month I feel like you're starting to raise above all of that a little bit, at least. You feel like, you know, it's worth, like, basically you figuring out what's worth to fight for and what's worth not to fight for. And when I say what's worth to fight for, I don't necessarily mean just necessarily another person or this connection. You could literally mean that it's time to choose yourself. You could literally mean maybe it's time to choose people who care about you. Maybe it's your family, your friends, or if you're working in some service area, maybe you want to care more about people who support your work, your clients and stuff like that. So it's almost like you choosing to battle things that are not productive in your life this month. It's almost like if it was even the thoughts, it doesn't have to be things from outside. Even if it was thoughts or some kind of conflictual energy you've been holding on to yourself, you could literally be choosing to raise above this energy this month and fight what no longer serves you, fight things that are no longer necessary. And the person you're connecting with, as much as yes, the energy of, you know, immaturity is still there, what I sense though is they starting to embrace some new paths. So maybe they're even opening up to a path where they decided to leave things behind and go on completely new journey. Now let's look at the connective energy between the two of you this month. So this is going to be new, of course. So let's see the connective energy between these two people. Could be also Leo you're dealing with, Leo or Sagittarius, somebody like that. The connective energy this month is the Empress. So things are shifting, something is changing. What I sense also is in this connection, you know, and in twin flame connections, it's quite common that one person is a little bit more spiritually like aware and just aware of the connection, more open and more ready for love than the other person. So if it's you, Scorpio, watching this, I feel like you're this motherly figure in a way where you almost like look at the person you're connecting with and you're not angry at them, you don't hate them, but you almost look at them and maybe this is the way you should look at them, as just this child who hasn't learned their lessons, this child who is just, you know, doesn't understand what they're doing. And I'm not saying go and forgive them for like crappy things they've done for you. I never suggest that, but like, I mean, yes, of course you can forgive them, but don't let them treat you badly. But what you can look like the good perspective to look at it from, I did this, is when this person does things which, let's say, you know, they like things they should, like things that are immature, things that are, you know, stupid even. Don't like get angry at them, don't waste your feminine energy, look at them more like, oh, you're still kind of like growing, okay, good luck. So, you know, and because this connection is a little bit more challenging, I feel like I need to use a little more humorous example. But anyway, there is nurture energy between the two of you, definitely, there is love. They look at you as a very like elevated type of woman who is beautiful, who is nurturing. I think, you know, from their higher self perspective, at least they definitely see you as a person who could be the mother of their children. So, you know, as much as they maybe not always acting with from their higher self, and of course it's up to you whether, you know, you're just gonna hold on to this connection or let go. I'm not telling anybody to wait for their twin flame indefinitely. I do believe that through our transformation and spiritual work we can actually transform them, and I think every feminine side, and it's especially for women, but sometimes men are actually more, you know, tuned into the divine feminine part of the connection. And from just, I studied a lot of ancient sources which doesn't talk about twin flame, they talk more about like soulmates and male and female energies, like in spiritual religious communities, and it does talk a lot about that. It's actually a woman who can draw a man, a woman who can transform energy of a man, given if she is doing her spiritual work, her transformation. And also another important concept I've learned myself on my own path, and I found it was extremely helpful for me and some people that I was working with, is that when we are often in this energy of falling in love so much with another person, our twin flame, I mean, as much as you might say it's not true, but very often what happens is we get so No, because it's a divine love. It's so much light, and it's almost something of not of this world. So what happens is that you're feeling so much love, this person becomes this magical, divine being, and you forget a very important thing. As much as this person, yes, this connection is divine in nature, you cannot put this person on a pedestal that this is some kind of godly being or something like that. And of course, we here all watch from different countries, there's different spiritual background and religion, but for a person, it's very important basically for a person understand the divinity of this connection, but at the same time don't put it above, let's say, whatever you consider the ultimate highest spiritual source, let's put it this way. So if a woman especially forgets about herself, forgets about her spirituality, forgets about that she's ultimately, also the part of the divine, and just creates kind of like idol of this man and worships him, it's never gonna bring anything good. So you cannot do this. Like, you have to always remember that there is a higher source, and this man, yes, he is part of your journey to ascend to this very high level of vibration, but you can never worship him. You cannot do it, and I've done it. That's why I'm saying, and maybe it resonates with you, maybe it doesn't, but I'm just sharing this experience. I've done it where I thought that the person I loved was like the most divine thing, and guess what, I've experienced quite a few issues both with my spiritual path because of this kind of false belief. I've experienced problems with this connection a lot, and then I realized that wow, it was my lesson to never do this. So anyway, hope it was helpful, but basically, yes, in this connection there is love, and there is one person who is more mature than the other. So it's up to you how you're gonna use your energy, especially if you're feminine watching this, because I feel you have a lot of power, but you cannot also react to this person from an ego. You have to react to this person from your most elevated self, and just through energetic work you could possibly transform them, or at least speed the process up. Or like, if you don't resonate with it, it could be also a good thing to let it go. So, but again, I cannot tell you what to do. I can just read your energies and share some things from my personal experience. So another person is also resonating to the energy of King of Wands, which I mentioned before. I think it could be somebody who has either Leo, Sagittarius, possibly even Aries in their chart. So let's see a little more. How do they currently see you? What is something you need to be aware of? So we have here Page of Wands and Two of Pentacles. So they see you as a person who maybe decided to walk away, maybe decided to not stick around anymore, not accept this BS anymore, and they see you basically as leaving. That's what I'm getting. Now let's see a little bit more from let's see actually archetype cards to dive into a little bit deeper into psychological things that are happening in this connection. So anyway, guys, I really love these archetype cards. They're very deep. So let's look at two sides of this connection from archetype cards, and let's also see what is their lesson of the two. So we'll take 3 cards from this deck. Okay, so first 2 cards I want to come out. First card is Knight. So the light attribute of Knight is loyalty, romance, and a love of honor, and shadow attributes allegiance to a destructive ruler or principle, romantic delusions. So what it's giving me right off the bat, and it could be a feminine or masculine side, somebody here has a lot of delusions about what the romantic, what the romantic basically connection is. So somebody here, like, somebody here could be even addictive to relationships that are destructive, just because they are kind of like obsessed with this idea of romance, where where Scorpios love passion, and maybe some of you maybe some of you are confusing destructive behavior or destructive pattern as something romantic or passionate. Possible, not necessarily. On the positive side, there's a lot of loyalty here, a lot of romance, big heart this person has. So this is archetype of one of these people in this connection. I sense that this could be you, Scorpio. Second person we have is Advocate. So light attribute inspires you to put compassion into action. Shadow attribute embracing negative causes or committing to causes for personal gain. So I think possible it could be maybe the person you're dealing with, but something about them, maybe they could actually be like, remember when I said they are kind of like a seeker, the spiritual person. So it's quite possible that they are actually, you know, doing something pretty good in their life. Maybe they are doing some kind of work that's very meaningful, an artist or some kind of spiritual person. They travel a lot or something like that. They're putting their compassion into action. However, I feel like there could be also like a shadow side of that where, you know, they're doing something, and it could be even something in the connection with you where, you know, there is an energy of personal gain. And what I'm also getting, another message from this, is that maybe even, you know, you've given them so much, and they knew that you were giving them, and they kind of wanted to take it just because they knew that, okay, good good place to get something from. I'm not saying they're negative, but it's just an archetype, and there is, you know, certain energy could be present from there. Now let's look at the connective energy, and let's see what the lesson in general is from, you know, from the archetype perspective between the two of you. We have here teacher. So, you know, light attribute of teachers, ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. Shadow attribute, manipulating or abusing students, teaching negative traits and destructive skills. So something regarding learning in this connection could be a little bit tricky. So I feel like on one side you, I'm getting a few messages. Okay, so on one side you could be, one of you could be a spiritual teacher on some way of this connection. And also another message I'm getting for some of you is that, let's say if you are watching this video, and probably, and I actually had a few clients before, like who shared this with me, that they, because they were so vulnerable when they were part of this connection, they actually, you know, were kind of like addicted to, let's say, I don't know, some random psychics who promised them that, oh, like, I you know, give me $1,000, I'll bring you a twin flame tomorrow. So be very careful while you're in this twin flame connection, while you're in this process and things are unclear. Be very careful who you share it with. I'm not saying don't share, but just, you know, do your research. Look at people who you choose to work with. Like if it's teachers, look really like, and I'm gonna be making a whole other video, separate series about how to, you know, my experience, how to choose, let's say, a reader or psychic. I'm gonna share some information that I think could be useful for a lot of people. But anyway, just be aware of any people who you could meet on your path, who could promise you, you know, the world and stuff like that, because when you're vulnerable, you could attract this type of people, and it's something you need to be aware of. I'm not telling you this to scare you, I'm just telling you that, you know, I'm getting this message, and, you know, it could be good of you to be aware of this energy, you know, and in that case you won't even attract it. But on the positive side, archetype of teacher is probably also, you're learning a lot. You're learning a lot on spiritual level. You're learning a lot about yourself. Maybe you're teaching them somehow about spirituality, teaching them about how to be a better person. It could even be not necessarily in 3D. It could be just, you know, in your higher self perspective through your energy work. And you might not be even aware of that, but actually when you're doing your spiritual work, you could be actually transforming this person. They could be learning from you, like on a higher soul level. And anyway, guys, let's take one last card. I'm gonna take this one last card from Romantic Oracle, I think it's deck. Where is it? It's a Romantic Oracle deck. Oh yeah, we can. I'm gonna take one last card from Romantic Oracle deck, and we're gonna close this reading. And then I'm also gonna announce the order in which next Twin Flame series is gonna go. Romantic Oracle card is sex. Share your most valuable resources lovingly. First, obsessive behavior and do what you know is fight obsessive behavior and do what you know is right. So Scorpio got a sex card. I mean, you guys doing good. I think what it talks about, and I mean, of course, Scorpio is one of the most sexual, most deep, most passionate signs. You know, on the negative side, we can sometimes be obsessive. I'm Scorpio rising, so, you know, I wouldn't lie to you about this. So I feel like, you know, be passionate, be sexual, but don't go into obsessive mode, okay? Don't go into dark side of Scorpio. Be, you know, be an elevated Scorpio, be a phoenix. You know, and yeah, and I think also this card could just signify that try to just look at the sexual energy in your life. Like, don't jump into things just because, you know, you need this energy. Because yes, sex is one of the quickest way of getting energy, very high level energy, but also if we do it without the right consciousness, it could sometimes bring you know, consequences, like not so negative. I mean, again, different people have different beliefs about that. I'm not gonna tell you what to do or not, but it's just something to be aware of. I'm just mentioning this because this card came out. And just try to maybe think about your sexual energy. Maybe what I'm getting for some of you, study a little bit of energetic, like tantric principles. I was actually watching tantra video yesterday. I'm thinking about going to, if I travel to like Bali or somewhere, I will probably take classes there as a Scorpio. And anyway, guys, on a positive note of this, we will close this reading. And so yeah, again, watch October video, because this is more of a build up on that one. And let me see, actually, let me take a few cards to see what's the next videos I'm gonna do. So first one was Scorpio, and I'm gonna post all the twin flames hopefully this week. Second card, okay, this is Pluto. No, so okay, so second video will be Gemini, then I'm gonna do Cancer, then I'm gonna do Capricorn, Leo, and Aquarius. Okay, so this will be the order. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope everything turns out this month very well. Venus is in retrograde. To learn more about Venus retrograde, watch my Love Tarot prediction for the month of October for all the Scorpios. And anyway, guys, see you next time. Bye bye.